At this point, I feel like everyone's done talking about the Maria and Sydney drama, and now Leia is has somehow inserted herself into it all. Um, these girls are just, I've seen so many opinions on TikTok, and all of them are in favor of Maria. I'm also in favor of Maria because from what we've seen, the girl has literally done absolutely nothing besides be herself and have a deep connection with Joey that I'm convinced there isn't much to all the hate, and they're just doing it because they're haters. In this episode, we see Lexi say something that I think is very important on all the hate that Maria gets. So Lexi is talking about Jess and says, Jess is just a little jealous of Maria. It just seems like she's an easy target. Her and Joey have a really strong connection. I think that can be threatening to girls who haven't had much time. And it just goes to show what I've been thinking was probably the issue. The fact that a few of the girls likely have a problem with Maria because they see the strong connection that she has with Joey. Like, their connection is undeniable. You know it's there. If you're one of those girls in the house, you know, and you can feel the connection. Now, I don't think, I think it's very delusional for the contestants. And I say this every single time. When I see contestants on The Bachelor and they're, in tears and all this stuff, and they're like, well, you led me on, or I can't believe it, or all these things. It's like, what can't you believe? This man or this woman started the show with over 40 contestants or however many they put on there. And at the end of the day, there's only going to be one person picked. Like, the odds of it being you. Come on now, people. But these episodes, I'm not sure. Why did we get 2 episodes? Does anyone know why? Okay, so the girls travel to Malta and Lexi gets the one-on-one. Now, obviously, I'm going to get to the drama and stuff, but first I want to talk about other important stuff that went on in the episode. And Lexi finally opens up and talks about how she has endometriosis. Now, personally, I don't really know much or didn't know much about what it is. So apparently she has stage 5 endometriosis, which sounds pretty serious. But she basically said it's a reproductive condition where tissue that's supposed to grow inside the uterus grows on other organs. She had to get surgery because it was all over her reproductive organs and it was all the way up to her lungs. After, I guess, going in there and removing everything, they told her that she may not be able to carry or have her own kids. And apparently she was dating someone at the time, and that person, I guess, broke up with her and told her, that because she likely wouldn't be able to have kids, they couldn't be with her, which sounds pretty messed up. But I think having kids and either choosing to not have kids or have kids is a big decision. And I think that's a big deal for some people if they feel like, oh, well, if we can't have kids, then we can't be together or I can't be with you. It is messed up though, because it's like, if you really love someone, I don't think that should be a factor into whether or not you stay with that person. As Joey, so she opens up to Joey. Joey even said, like, I don't want you to think that's something that's going to make me run away, and that there are other ways to create a family through adoption, etc. So I think that would be the approach that someone should take if you're in a relationship and you actually care about that person. Like, okay, if you can't have kids, there are other ways that we can have a family or create a family together. We do see, while Sydney is still in the house, that Jess checks in with her about all the drama or whatever. And Sydney, I feel like throughout the episode, she said a lot of things that were kind of crazy, like how literally Maria was affecting her so much that it was affecting her body. She said that her brain is completely occupied by Maria. Literally, that's what she said. It's affecting her health. She's exhausted, lethargic, breaking out. And it's just like, and as she's talking to Jess is kind of just taking it all in, kind of nodding her head. And I'm like, that was my first thing where I was like, okay, it seems you might also have a problem with Maria. And as we see later, she does. So once a group date is announced, that's when Maria and Sydney realize, obviously, because their names aren't called, that they are likely going to be on a 2-on-1 date. The girls that do get to go on the group date were, I guess, supposed to be training to be knights. and they did a few challenges. And the last challenge, the moving wheel with the cheese and the sausage, I looked at that and I was like, that's disgusting. And then Joey talked about the smell. He said how the smell was so bad. That didn't even run through my mind. I was like, can you imagine having to smell that? I just, oh my God, it's just so disgusting. The wheels turning, they're all trying to, grab it with their mouths. So then you're spitting saliva with everyone. It's so gross. A few of the girls commented on how they were like gagging, basically. And that's just, see, when you do group things like that, where there's food involved or like things with food that are nasty, it makes me feel like, what is it? Is this like Fear Factor? Winner of the challenge is Autumn. And it's just interesting because she finally gets, like, I guess a little bit more time with Joey. And then as we see in the later episode, she goes home. Like, he sends her home. I would have felt so bad, honestly, if I was Autumn. Like, I finally get some time with this guy. And as soon as I do, he sends me home. Someone that stood out in this episode was definitely Kelsey T, because I truly feel like we haven't seen much of her. Like, I was like, where has she been? I really don't feel like she's gotten any screen time. But the fact, I don't know. Like, first of all, you saw that her connection with Joey was also strong, right? He even said that it was a strong connection. I feel like she got a lot of screen time in these last 2 episodes, which makes me think that she may be one of the girls who makes it far. So for the 2-on-1, they're on a boat, going through caves. So awkward. He's in the middle, and then it's Sydney and Maria. And once, I guess, they get to their destination, he takes each of them and talks to them. So he takes Sydney first. And of course, Sydney, I truly don't know. What her issue is. Like, I want to believe that she's really not crazy and that she made a deal with the producers and was like, I'll be that crazy girl. I'll do that to get my 5 minutes of fame. I want to think that, but it's also like, that's likely not what happened. It's likely that you're crazy. Or, as I've seen other people say, it's likely that she's trying to get her 5 minutes of fame so that she can be on BIP. Now, after all of this, she's absolutely going to be on BIP, obviously. So if that is the reason why she's doing all of this, then she's even more disrespectful than I thought. Because for you to make up lies and you to be that vindictive and do all of this just because you want to be on TV, just, like on another show, is pathetic. And it's just, but it could also be that she's just crazy and she truly believes all of this, which is frightening. So she starts talking to Joey and basically how Maria attacked her after the pool party. And as the girls tried to step in, she told Leia to shut the fuck up. We didn't see that. We haven't seen any of these things that have apparently happened on the show, right? We haven't seen it. I feel like at this point, if certain things had happened, because she's getting accused of like a lot, then the producers would have shown it, but they haven't. Are they trying to give her the perfect edit? I don't think they are. I truly think she's just unproblematic and she's herself and she has a strong connection with Joey, and the girls don't like that. And they don't like a confident woman. So she's just basically trash talking Maria the entire date. And then Joey takes Maria. And Maria looks exhausted, honestly. Like, she looks exhausted. She looks like, I hate that I'm having, she even told him, like, I'm here for you. Like, this is so uncomfortable, but I came because I want to be with you. And so he brings up the shut the fuck up comment. And she's immediately like, no. She's like, I wouldn't even say something like that. Like, it's so vulgar that it's just not who I am. He goes back, sits at the table with both of the women, and it looks like he's going to pick Sydney. And she clearly thought, because he has a rose in his hand, and then he turns to Sydney and says her name, and she's like, okay, I got this. But no, he sends her home. He sends her packing. It was a beautiful moment between him and Maria, because as, Sydney leaves or whatever, and then they're kissing, they have that, I don't even know what song it is, but it's like that opera song, that lady singing in the back, and it has Maria's name in it. It was honestly such a beautiful moment. It truly was. Oh my God. And how could I forget? Before he even gives her before he sends Sydney home, Sydney and Maria have a moment where they're talking, and Maria confronts her about the comment that she apparently said to Leia. And Maria's like, because Sydney's sticking by what she said. Maria's like, we're on camera all the time, right? Period. Like, that's what we've been saying. If these things were happening, we as the audience would see them because this would create more drama. And obviously, they would want that for the show. So all of it just doesn't make sense. We have that moment that we have every season when there's a 2-on-1 date and the 2 suitcases are at the door, and all the girls back at home or back at the hotel are waiting to see if whose suitcase is going to get picked up. We see Sydney's little suitcase compared to Maria's get rolled away. I would love to do that job. Like, can they just hire me? If I'll never be on the show, I want to be involved with the show in some way. Can they just hire me to go get the suitcase? Because then I'll have my moment. It's a very important moment, I feel. And immediately all the girls know it's Sydney going home. Some of them look really shocked, honestly, and I didn't understand why. Because it's like, if you've been in the house and you've seen everything that's going on, why would you be surprised that it's Sydney going home when clearly a lot of girls are aware that he has a stronger connection with Maria? And of course, once Sydney's gone, Leia feels the need to get her 5 minutes of fame and decides to confront Medina about her being nice to Maria after Sydney left. Basically, she's telling her that she's like, I guess she's coming from like, you're not a real friend because they had beef, and why are you like trying to be nice to her and being friends with her and all of that. I guess I don't know what she expects Medina to do, because again, the whole situation that started because technically of the situation between Maria and Medina, which wasn't really a situation at all, had really nothing to do with Medina. Like, she was never actually upset. It was more of how Sydney came at it and how Sydney phrased it. So this whole problem started because of that, and Medina literally doesn't care. Like, she does not care about what happened because it's pointless to try and make a problem out of nothing. Medina puts her in her place, and she's just like, I don't have to be mean to her because I'm an adult, and I'm not in 5th grade. I don't have to be mean to her just because of Sydney going home and whatnot. I don't know. I just think Leia I don't know what her issue is. I think she's also trying to get on BIP. She's trying to make a name for herself. And I liked Leia in the beginning. I saw no problem with her. Now that I'm seeing all of this, and I've seen like all on social media as well, like the tables have turned. People also do not like Leia anymore because it's like, why are you? It's like she's continuing the drama. The drama left. Sydney left. And now Leia's like, I'm going to take the torch. Now it's up to me to continue the pointless drama. Leia is also 23. I had to look that up because I was like, this girl has got to be young. I don't know how old Sydney is, but it's like the drama is so pointless that I'm like, y'all have to be young, because I don't think anyone... Maria, I think, is like 29, I believe. She's somewhere there. She's just a lot more mature. Now, Medina has a conversation after the whole Leia thing with Maria, and basically saying that everyone is mad, that I'm being nice to you. And that really upsets Maria. Like, I think she's had, like, that was the final straw. She's done. She's crying. She's clearly upset. And Leia was such a mean girl in this moment because Maria leaves the room. She's clearly upset and crying. And she is like saying that she's doing too much, that she's glad she's in tears. She's a drama queen crybaby. It's giving mean girl, and it's giving bully. Now that, my friends, is a bully. And Leia feels the need to go talk to Joey and bring it up to Joey, and basically saying how a lot of the girls were shocked when they saw that Sydney was the one to go home instead of Maria, and something about how Maria has treated all of them. And basically she's like, I trust your intuition and whatnot. And if I was Joey, I would feel like, why are you coming? Like, her saying like, you're smart, I trust your intuition. Like, don't try to come for me like I'm dumb, because it's like so condescending, I feel. And I'm honestly surprised that her coming to Joey, because this is now another girl, right? This is now another girl coming to Joey about Maria. That didn't, it doesn't seem like it, at least from what we saw, that didn't affect him. That he didn't feel the need to be like, oh, did I send Sydney home for no reason? Like, was Maria supposed to go home? It didn't seem to affect him. At least I think that conversation with Leia. Thank God. Now, as Maria's having a breakdown and whatnot, who comes out to hug Maria and tell her that Joey wants her here? No one other than Medina, the person that she apparently had this whole problem with. The person that if anyone should be upset, which even Medina shouldn't be upset, because what Maria said was not mean, was not anything. It was just a comment like, hey, you're not old. What is Medina, 30? I don't know how she is. They're like a year or two apart. You're not old. How is that like a insult? I truly don't get it. But they're clearly cool, and I honestly love that Medina, even though she goes home later on, I do love that she like didn't, she could have ran with it and for her own storyliner's sake done the most, just like Sydney and Leia are doing, but she chose to be an adult and be like, it's not that deep. And of course, Leia thinks that Maria is leaving, but absolutely not. She is not leaving. But Edwina, this is all in the first episode. Edwina, or no, this is the second episode. Yeah, the continuation of the second episode. Edwina and Allison do go home, which I was sad about. I liked Edwina. I think she was funny, but I guess we didn't see much of a deep connection with Joey. We also didn't see much of a connection with Allison. I think it's sad because Maria and Allison were clearly good friends. So I feel like Maria lost someone who did have her back. They leave Malta. They head to, I think it's Andalusia, Spain. And Kelsey A gets the one-on-one date. I feel like there's been so many one-on-one dates this season. Like, I want to think that it's more than usual, but maybe it's not, and it's all in my head. But I feel like we usually don't see that many. They're having a picnic. We hear him speak a little Espanol, not much. He just says, I think, like basic ass Spanish, "Hola, cómo estás?" and "Sí." But I was like, okay, he can speak a little Spanish. She talks about her mom. I guess she lost her mom to breast cancer, which was really, really sad. And she talked about how, like, I guess before she was going to go on the show, butterflies remind her a lot of her mom. It makes me think of my mom because butterflies also remind me a lot of my mom. But my mom is still alive. She says that she was, I guess, trying to feel if she should go on the show or not, and she saw a tons of butterflies, and she took that as a sign from her mom. And I guess she asked her dad, like, what do you think that mom would think about all of this? And her dad said that it's something that your mom would do and that you're brave just like her, which I thought so beautiful. So beautiful. All right, we have the second group date, and Rachel gets chosen for the one-on-one. And it's interesting because she had literally just been like talking about how she still hasn't gotten a one-on-one with him. And I was also trying to figure out if she was going to have a one-on-one, because I do see a connection there for them. I definitely do. So the group date, the day portion of the group date, they have to paint. And out of all the paintings, just one. Okay, I'm not sure why just one, because I felt like hers wasn't that deep. She drew an engagement ring or a few, or I don't know what, with like little stars. Like, I don't feel like it was that creative. I actually liked Leia's the best, surprisingly, because she's so problematic. But I did like hers the best. She drew like the little hibiscus. I don't know what she said, but it was hibiscus flowers, and I love hibiscus. It's so good. In like, if you go to like, usually any legit Mexican restaurant will have a hibiscus juice, and it's called Jamaica. So if you ever see that on the menu, order a fucking Jamaica juice. It's so good. It's nice and sweet. If you like hibiscus and you like a nice sweet drink, order Jamaica next time you go to any Mexican restaurant. They sometimes have it. They'll also have it at like Salvadorian restaurants too. But it's so good. Well, anyways, since Jess is the one that won the date, they get to roll around in paint. She's in a bikini. He's in some shorts, I guess. I've always wanted to do that. I feel like it seems like so much fun to roll around in paint or mud, but mud sounds more disgusting, so let's make it paint. Now, the group date night portion, you gotta give it to Maria. She opens up about her childhood. Now, at this point, we've heard, right, Joey say, I feel like a few times now, that he has an interest in Maria, that there is a connection, but that he wants it to go deeper. It seems like their connection isn't deep yet. And so she opens up about her childhood and something really, really traumatic that she went through. When Maria was just one, she was in a really bad car accident with her mom. A cement truck apparently fell on top of their car, which is insane. I'm like, I need more context. How does that happen? How does that happen? But apparently she was basically pronounced dead at the scene. Maria, okay, a 1-year-old child. She said her car seat was in pieces. Like, I truly don't know how someone survives something like that with your car seat being in pieces at 1 years old. She said her mom broke almost every bone in her body, went through a big depression. And I guess she's like, me being so young, she didn't understand or recognize any of that, why her mom wasn't around most of her childhood. And she didn't understand many things, why her mom left. And her mom, I guess, wasn't capable of being the mother that she could be. And it was a little confusing. I feel like it wasn't that clear, at least for me. I didn't understand if her mom left because, okay, so the accident happens. Maybe she goes, obviously going through something like that, breaking every bone in your body, that causes her to go into a major depression. And then maybe through that depression, she just couldn't see the way out. And that's why she wasn't really involved in Maria's life. I was a little lost with that, and I guess still to this day their relationship is like a work in progress. So it's a little unclear, I guess, because I don't understand if the accident triggered all of this or if it was due to something else. And so in saying all of this, she's like, because I've gone through this, like, I don't entertain any of these childish things because I know how precious life is and I want to enjoy every moment. And I thought that made so much sense as to why she is the person that she is and why she comes off the way she does. She does give that group date rose to Maria, which was well deserved, but Jess was definitely sad. And I'm sure she felt like, what was wrong with our little, because she won the challenge and got to spend extra time with him. I'm sure she felt like, what was missing from our date that I couldn't get the rose. And his one-on-one with Rachel goes well. They do a flamenco show. I guess she's an ICU nurse, and she basically talked about how it's hard basically dating when you're a nurse because of the long hours, and having a job like that kind of takes a toll on you because, you know, you see many things obviously as a nurse. Props to her and to all the nurses out there, because I just could not. I don't think I could handle a job like that where I'm seeing stress and panic and difficult things like that all the time. Like any of those jobs, nurse, a social worker. Like I have a lot of friends that are in social work, and the things they've like described and the things they deal with are just honestly traumatic. And I wouldn't want to go through that every single day and like bring that like kind of energy home. So at the next day cocktail party, all the drama unfolds once again. I thought we were done. Okay. Throughout the whole episode, the second episode, I was like, okay, we're done. Like there's not going to be any more drama. And of course, Maria interrupts the conversation between Joey and Caitlyn. Very nicely, though. She wasn't disrespectful at all. Caitlyn, she's like, yeah, sure. So she comes back to the girls and tells them what just happened. Jess is instantly annoyed. I guess her thing is, you already have a rose, Maria. Like, why are you going up to him? A lot of us haven't had any time, including her. And my thing is, like, I just don't get why because she's so stressed about it, right? And she's having such a hard time. It's not Maria's fault that you're not having time with him. Like, then go spend time with him. Like, that's on you to make the effort, right? So I don't really understand that. And that is when because Jess starts spiraling just a little bit. That is when Lexi comes in with the quote about why Jess might be a little jealous of Maria and why Maria has such a target on her back because of their strong connection, which can be threatening to the girls. It's so silly, honestly. We all know while you're here, guys, it's a competition at the end of the day. Who's going to win his rose? I mean, yeah, his rose. His heart, who's getting engaged? He's only picking one of you guys. So you guys have to put in all the effort I can. Now, do I think it was shady of Maria to go spend more time with him after she already has a rose? No. Yeah, she could have just chilled for the night. Like, I don't have to put in any effort. I have a rose, but I'm sure she feels like we have a very strong connection. She just opened up to him, which I'm sure meant a lot for her to do. And she feels like, I want to go kiss him. I want to go talk to him. I'm just going to go steal him for a bit. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Maria comes back to the girls. That's when Jess makes a snarky comment about her conversation with Joey. And so Maria straight up asks her, like, is there a problem with me going to talk to Joey? And she just says, I just think it's a little disrespectful, Maria. In what way, Jess? Jess stays quiet. And then Maria's like, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So moving on. And that's like that attitude. Because I think Maria at this point is just done. Like, she's like, I'm done being nice to everyone. I'm done with the drama. I'm done with you bees like constantly on me about literally nothing or literally everything. It's just ridiculous. I think she's had enough, and she's just like, what is the problem? Why are you coming for me because I'm talking to him when that's what we're here to do? Maria tells Jess to grow up, and that's when Jess is like, you need to grow up. Leah goes running behind Jess, of course, because why wouldn't she? And it's just so dumb. Everyone's losing their minds over this girl. For rose ceremony, Jess does get the last rose, which I'm sure had her quaking in her boots. Medina and Autumn go home. Sucks to be them. Sucks to be Medina because of all the drama, etc. And she seems like a cool girl. Autumn just got to spend time with him, and now she's gone. And they're going to Montreal, Canada, which is where Maria is from. So I thought that was nice. So we see all this drama, and now Maria gets to basically go back home. Does she currently live? Yeah, she currently lives in Canada. She has to, I think. We see a little snippet of Leia saying that the drama has only just begun. Watch her back. I don't know what that means, but gosh, I hope she goes home the next episode. Please send this girl home, please. Hopefully Maria does get a one-on-one. Has she had a one-on-one? She's had so much time with Joey that at this point I'm like, wait, has she had a one-on-one? I don't think so. Hopefully she has it in Canada. But yeah, that was the end of these 2 episodes. Are we going to have 2 episodes again next week? I feel like that's a lot to recap. But that's why I'm doing it so late. It's Saturday, and episodes came out. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Episodes came out Monday, Tuesday, but I've just been busy because I have 2 jobs. And as much as I love to podcast, sometimes I just can't do it all. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it all. I did, however, buy this little arm for my little mic. And unfortunately for me, this mic is already connected to, if you see here, it was connected to a stand, right, that I had on my desk. And I tried to take it off. I need to take this part off so that I can connect this bad boy to this. However, I'm having difficulties pulling. Like, you gotta just twist it. You gotta twist it off. And I have tried so hard and I can't do it. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna let this be the thing that messes up my Saturday night. Let me just wait for my boyfriend to get home and he can try, and he better be able to unscrew this for me because I have had enough. Anyways, that is my recap for these 2 episodes. I'm going to try to recap earlier next week for sure. But working 2 jobs is not as easy as it sounds, if it sounds easy. It's a lot, I feel. So I don't really have time to do much. I really have the most time on the weekends because thankfully I don't work weekends. At least I get the weekends off. If you liked this episode, please like my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will be back next week, hopefully. Bye.